All right, guys. Today for Self-Care Sunday, I want to talk about wounds and how they add a filter to our perception. And I thought it was so serendipitous that Iman had that post that just recently went out, because this was literally on my list of things to talk about for today in particular. So it was just perfect timing. It seems like this is exactly what the universe wants people to be hearing right now. So I definitely took that as my go-ahead to continue with this as I planned today. So something I've noticed in people, particularly working with wounded people, having wounded friends, is that when we have wounds, when we have trauma that's not healed, we end up having that as a filter over our perception that colors the way we see and hear things. So, for example, I've had friends that will have gone from really great friends to not so great friends because we'll have this relationship where I have been given permission to be completely honest and upfront with them. And at some point, rather than working on healing, they will end up getting deeper into their wounds. And so it goes from me being able to help them to them hearing everything I say as a criticism. And then I just get to a point where I can't help them. And I'm very aware there's a reason why therapists, coaches, counselors, mentors are, it's literally a guideline for therapists and coaches that are certified and licensed and all that, not to work for your friends, because that can cause a filter as well. But from my experience, it is very abundantly clear that what happens is that you go from, because I've seen this switch happen in people, not just that I've seen it with some people and not without, but I've literally seen the switch happen with people where the wound is so deep that they can't see clearly. They can't see that you're still trying to help them. It's almost like they become a teenager and you become the mom, and it's like, yeah, okay, fine, mom, I don't want to hear this. As where prior to that, they were grateful for your help and grateful that you were helping them heal. And so this can happen with people who are already so deep in their wound that they can't see the help. They can't see that they need to heal because their trauma and their wound is so deep and they're so used to that they never had an opportunity to see that healing was what they needed to do. See that what would be helpful to them would be helpful to them. What would be healing to them would be healing to them. They can't see it because their wound is literally like a pair of sunglasses filtering their perception. Some people have wounds so deep and they've had them for so long that they get, I don't want to say comfortable, I don't like to say comfortable, but used to it. I talk about how people can get so used to the discomfort that they think the discomfort is easier than what it would take to actually become comfortable. Because people have a tendency to, what's that phrase? There's a really good phrase. I can't remember what it is now. Oh no. But there's a well-known phrase, especially in the coaching and mentoring space, about people finding it easier to be in the discomfort rather than being willing to do what it takes to be happy. Something about, I don't know anymore. I know I've heard Jordan Peterson say it. I've heard other people say it. Maybe it'll come to me. But something about them finding it easier to stay in the discomfort than work towards what would be actually comfortable. Anyway, we want to be mindful of this in ourselves and with others, because as I talk about from time to time, this is why I only work with people that are ready, and why I let people reach out to me rather than reaching out to others. Because what I realized in trying all of the different business things out there is that, and I realized this and kind of always knew it, but was trying for the sake of trying, I guess, that when someone isn't ready, they're just going to be blocked. They've still got that filter up. They're not ready to take the filter down. So in order to be able to help someone at all, they have to be ready. That's why I always say that healers don't heal. They facilitate self-healing. Hi. Healers don't heal. They facilitate self-healing, because that person who needs to heal has to be ready to take that filter off. And if they're not ready to take that filter off, they're going to be holding on to it. Like I used the sunglasses metaphor. They're going to be holding on to those sunglasses for dear life. And that's their trauma filter. And unfortunately, they need to be softening their grasp of that filter before they can start healing, because otherwise it's just not going to work. It's just not going to be helpful to them. No matter how many good ideas you have, no matter how much you think you can help them, if they're not ready, there's often nothing you can do but be patient and, maybe find kind ways, the kindest ways you can, to say things and just be there for them for when they are ready. But it's really important to recognize that people, especially with deep trauma and wounds, are going to have this filter over their perception that they don't realize is there. That they've been, I don't know if anybody has experienced this like I have. You wear, again with the sunglasses analogy, you wear the sunglasses and they're a slightly different color, but eventually your eyes adjust so that the color is no longer affecting your vision. And then when you take them off, you're like, oh my gosh, the color is so different. You put them on and you're like, oh my gosh, the color is so different. And then you take them off and you're like, oh my gosh, the color is so different. But the thing is with people with trauma and wounds, the color gets tinted slightly. It's like those glasses that transition from day to night. The color transitions for them so slightly over time that they don't realize that they've put these glasses on at all, because they started out clear and then slowly but surely they got more and more and more colored until they've got this dark filter over, but they don't realize it because their eyes, their mind adjusted to it over time. So they have no idea they have this filter. They have no idea how filtering it is. And until something in their mind, and until to go with the glasses analogy, until their peripheral vision opens up and they start seeing around the outside edges, which their hands holding on tightly might be blocking that too, in this metaphor, until they start to slowly let go until they're ready to do that, and until they can kind of start seeing the edges around the filter, they're just not going to be open to it because they don't even realize it's there. And one of the worst things you can do for people who are that deeply wounded and traumatized is try to rip the glasses off for them, because if anything, that's going to make them hold on tighter. So this is just something we want to be aware of. And I wish I could remember that saying, because it's so good. Maybe I'll post it as a graphic. We'll see. But yeah, I felt like that Iman post from the other day was so serendipitous to the fact that I wanted to talk about this at all, that it was time. So you just want to be aware that people who have wounds, you might be doing this yourself. You're seeing through a filter that's affecting your perception, and until you can take that down, you might be receiving love and not even realize it. You might have all this, I've seen people who are sitting there going, why don't I have any help? Why is my life this way? And what they don't realize is that their filter has gotten so dark that they don't realize they can't see at all, and that they've got all this help and all this love around them, and they don't even realize it's there. So yeah, you might want to, for those who are working through trauma and who are working through wounds, maybe ask yourself, how might I be doing this? It might be hard to see because you're so used to having that filter that you don't even realize it's there. But it might be time to, if you're open and ready for it, take the opportunity to maybe ask some people around you. One of the things that I love to do is just ask around, especially if you have a support system you can trust. If you're brave enough, ask them. Are there things I'm not seeing because of my wounds? Are there things that I'm not doing because of my wounds? You can, if you're ready and open, this might be the perfect time to work with somebody one-on-one who can do that for you. And that's all about, like I said, finding that trusted support system, finding that person that you can trust has your best interest in mind, that is going to tell you the truth. So sometimes friends aren't always the best people if they're not a part of your trusted support system to ask, but you'll get there. As we awaken, and as we start to take that filter down, we start to realize what's good for us. We start to realize what was hurting us, and we start to be able to clear and open that space. So that's what I wish for everybody, is the ability to recognize that there is probably a filter that you're seeing through, especially if you're getting offended by things on a regular basis. Even if it's one particular person or a couple particular people, that might be something to recognize. If there's they might actually genuinely be offensive, depending on the circumstance. You never know. But it's always worth questioning. Is there something that I'm letting filter is there something that I'm letting color my perception? Is there something that is blocking me from getting help and getting healing? And if the answer is absolutely no, then there's probably something there. Because I don't know if you've seen that Dunning-Kruger, I think that's what it's called, scale of confidence versus expertise. I love that. I posted it over in the sanctuary, where it shows the people who are the least experienced have the most confidence. And then as you get more and more experience, you get less and less confident for a while, and then you go back to being confident, but you never quite hit that confidence of those people who are the least experienced. And what I realized about that that's so true is that you'll find that, like I was talking about as far as being able to say, I don't know, the people who are the most confident are the ones that can say, I don't know, or who will look at things and go, maybe. You know, if someone was to ask me, do you have something coloring your perception? My answer wouldn't be definitely no. My answer would be like, I should look into that. So that's something to be aware of too, because that's part of the difference between being awake versus woke, which is something else I talk about in the sanctuary, is that those who are awakened are open to all possibilities. They welcome all possibilities and are willing to take them in for a moment and evaluate them before they let them go. They don't just put their hands up and say no. They say, let's take this in and find out. And then they take it in, they see how it resonates with them, and then they let it go and decide what they're going to do with it from there. So I want to invite everybody to take a moment to whatever comes your way today. Invite it in for a moment, because it doesn't have to be a house guest. It doesn't have to stay there permanently. Just take it in for a moment. Say, thank you for asking. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. And then let it go and see what happens. All right, guys. I think that's it for today. Of course, because we're still in that time, I'm gonna mention it. I still have my fundraiser going. Hold on, let's wait for this guy to go by. I thought that guy worked here, but it's a Sunday, so I don't know what that's about. I don't know if that's somebody that's not skateboarding. I don't know what that's about. Anyway, because we're at that time, being at the end of the video in general, I still have my fundraiser going on. So if anybody hasn't seen that, check that out. We are making miracles happen. We are making miracles happen. But we are getting close to the deadline. So we still have a little ways to go to reach our goal. And we're kind of doing this in a little bit of a time constraint because they are about to take the rental car from him. So check out my Making Miracles in Real Life videos. I will post those in the description for the YouTube links, and you can find them here on Instagram. I just put out this meditation series to help you be energetically protected, which, out of all the filters you could possibly have, it's one I recommend, because it's a clear filter that allows you to just be energetically protected, so you know that what you're letting out is only what you've decided to let out, and what's coming in is only what you've invited in. Otherwise, you are energetically protected from anything that you don't invite in or out. And I thought that was so awesome that I couldn't keep it to myself anymore. Usually I only do that one-on-one with my one-on-one clients. But I realized my Patreon clients, my Patreon subscribers are just as much my clients. So I wanted to offer that to you guys. The Awakening tier of Patreon only has one-off content in that sense. So the Ascending, Sanctuary, and Enlightening tiers, those all have access to my series and my series, multiple series, like my Spirituality 101 series, this meditation series, my course. So if you want to get in on this meditation series, which is built from the Gateway experience, Gateway program, Hemisync program techniques, so amazing. So I teach you a series of tools that have become foundational to my meditation practice, whether or not I'm using the Hemi-Sync binaural beats. And then from there, we take those techniques and we use them to make your resonant energy bubble that will protect you forever. It's a meditation you do once and then you have it with you for life. And you can bring it in if you want to not have it around you, and you can let it back out anytime. So I hope that for those of you who go and check those out, those serve you as well as they have served me. They are, like I said, amazing techniques that you can add to any meditation. And that's another way in which donations are happening for my fundraiser. For this 2 weeks that I'm doing the fundraiser, any Patreon subscriptions, new or renewed, that come through are also going to the fundraiser. Because as I've said, I don't do anything. Why do I keep messing that up? That's the second time I've messed that up. I don't ask anybody to do anything that I'm not doing myself. So any Patreon subscriptions that come through are getting donated to the cause as well. And then last but not least, I have my one-on-one that I'm doing. We are in between session cycles. The most recent session cycle just started, but I still have spots open. So I want to remind people, if you are ready, if you're ready to stop holding on so tight, if you want to heal the trauma and the wounds, if you're ready to make sure that your whole human system is healthy, because when your whole human system is healthy, happiness comes naturally. I'm here for that. Hit me up. All you have to do is message me, or you can fill out the Jot form to do a free clarity call to see if we connect. Because like I was saying about that trusted support system, it's a relationship. Even if it is a therapist, mentor, coach, counselor, whatever it may be, you've got to be the right fit. So I want to make sure that we're the right fit, because if I'm not the right fit for you, I have other people you might connect with if you're ready. And I just want to get you the healing that you need. I just want to get you on that healing journey if you're ready. So if it happens to not be me, then I can connect you with other people that might be able to be a fit for you. So hit me up. Help me share my video. Like I said, we only have a little while left to reach our goal in the time that frame that I'm trying to get it done in. So keep sharing the video. Thank you to everybody who shared. Thank you to everybody who has donated so far. We're making it happen, and it's so amazing. I keep saying this, but honored, touched is an understatement. And you guys helping me do this, because I can't do it without you. If I could, I would have already. But I can't do it without you. So thank you. May the energy you serve you well. Make sure you tap on that title to drop the description to all the cool things, because I don't usually post here. I'm posting here a little bit more now, but I don't usually post here on Instagram. So go check that out. YouTube is where I usually post videos like this. Patreon is where I have all my stuff, where I get even deeper into healing and spirituality and all that good stuff. That's also how you join my official Sanctuary of the Awakened. So, yeah. All right, guys, tap on that title to drop the description for all the links to all the things. And may the energy you serve you well. And let's keep making our way through.